Good morning. We want to welcome you to the Drainage District Board of Directors meeting, September 18, 2018. We have roll call. We have Commissioner Precinct 1, David Fuentes, myself, and Commissioner Precinct 3, Joe Flores. We have a quorum. If we could start with a prayer.
Thank you, Commissioner. Let us pray. Father God, again, we give you thanks for another day that you've given us, Lord. We continue to pray for our county, Lord. Continue to pray for our leaders, for this board that you have appointed, Lord. Continue to bless them. Continue to provide them your wisdom, Lord. And also, more importantly, your peace, Lord, as they continue to make the decisions that affect us all, Lord. We continue to pray for the families that are still battling here locally, Lord. Some of the rain events that we had just recently received, Lord. Continue to pray for our workers, Lord, for everyone that is working overtime day and night to make sure that we get this water out efficiently, Lord. Give us the strength and give us the wisdom to deal with everything that is before us, Lord. We continue to pray for the East Coast as well as they recuperate as well from the catastrophic event that they've received as well, Lord. We just continue to ask for your blessings for all of us, Lord, your wisdom for myself, and just thank you for the opportunity that you give us to come serve, Lord. And I ask all this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Open forum. Number one, the first person, Jim Barnes.
Mr. Barnes, if I may, before you start, I'm going to ask everyone in the audience to please respect the speaker's time at the podium. There is a 3-minute time limit. I will advise when there's 1 minute, Mr. Barnes.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Jim Barnes. I live in Mission. I am an owl and the president of the McAllen Tea Party. Yesterday's Drainage Advisory Committee meeting was informative, and our live stream on Facebook received positive feedback. I intensely agree that the drainage improvements are necessary, and I agree with the Drainage General Manager, Raul, that we are playing catch-up. Let's hope we are not behind the power curve and will never catch up. Several questions came out of yesterday's meeting. Why aren't the projects rated in importance? Answer. If we are playing catch-up, all of them are number one priorities. Another question was, could each project have more detail? Answer. I think that there should be more transparency and how each project ties into the big picture. Where does the water that they will divert actually go? And is there any issues with more water arriving there? Are there any unintended consequences where there wasn't flooding once before and now we're going to create one? There is also some mistrust because of previous missteps in the drainage department before the current general manager was hired. The same board, at least two of you, were directing the previous general manager. Have you taken steps to prevent similar issues? Has the public been made aware of those steps? We understand the political reasons why the levees on the floodway were raised to prevent an insurance disaster for every homeowner in the county. Has sufficient explanation been made so that the citizens trust and understand that decision? Did these funds being diverted prevent the Raymondville drain improvements? Overall, I like the presentation. I'd like to see a few changes in it, and I'm looking forward to the presentations to the voters. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you, everybody who attended that meeting yesterday. Next person is Hilda Salinas, I believe. Can't really read the name. It's Hilda, but I can't read the last name. S-A-L. And then, I don't know.
Buenos días, señor juez y comisionados. Mi nombre es Eva Carranza, soy líder de la organización Arise y resido en South Tower Estates, precinto número 2. Hoy venimos con un total de 2.112 firmas de residentes que creen que todos merecemos vivir en comunidades seguras y alumbradas, en todo el condado de Hidalgo, sin importar en dónde vivamos. Necesitamos que se invierta más en la seguridad y bienestar de las familias. Les pedimos que si va a cancelar el servicio de basura, se asignen estos fondos a infraestructuras de alumbrado público, ya que los residentes recibimos un porcentaje muy bajo en servicios públicos. Aquí mi compañera de Lupe va a exponer los 3 objetivos de nuestra campaña.
Buenos días, señor juez, comisionados. Mi nombre es Hilda Treviño, vengo con la Unión del Pueblo Entero. Soy residente del precinto 4 y enseguida presento los 3 objetivos de la campaña. Que se establezca un presupuesto fijo anualmente para alumbrado público. Que se incluyan colonias con infraestructura o sin ella, posteriormente en sus propiedades. Que se aprueben las reglas de modelo de subdivisión para incluir el servicio de alumbrado público en nuevas vecindades. Gracias al trabajo de las 3 organizaciones, Arise, Lupe, Texas Law, Income Housing Information Service y sus líderes, entregamos las 2.212 firmas de residentes que apoyan las metas de nuestra campaña. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Just to quickly translate. Hello, my name is Eva Carranza. I'm here from the Colonia South Tower Estates. Today we're here with the organizations Arise, Lupe, and Texas Housers with a total of 2,112 signatures from residents who believe that we all deserve to live in communities with secure lighting and all the county without mattering where it is. We need to invert into the security and well-being of our families, and we ask that if you're going to cancel services for trash, that these funds be assigned to infrastructure for public lighting in the county, since residents receive such small percentage in public services anyways. My partner here from Lupa is going to explain the 3 points. The 3 points are that we think that we need a public lighting program that benefits all types of neighborhoods in Hidalgo County and that is invested in the safety and well-being of family. We think that this goal can be met by establishing a fixed budget annually for street lighting. 2, to include neighborhoods with or without infrastructure in the back of their properties in the program. And 3, by modifying subdivision rules to include street lighting services in the new neighborhoods. Thanks to the organization of the 3 groups, Arise, Lupe, and Texas Housers, and their leaders, we turn in this petition and ask that you consider these 3 points.
Thank you, sir.
Next person, Fern McClarity.
I had a couple of questions. To me, drainage is the most important thing right now. I just don't understand why that's not the priority of the people that are here. I've had a home underwater before, and it's not fun. It's not easy to have to pull your carpeting up and then dip out the water a bucket at a time. So I think that should be number 1 for the county right now. I do thank the Drainage District for doing what they can. I just wish y'all would speed it up a little. What I wanted to talk to today was on the agenda, which is on the other agenda, the health department is going to hold some kind of venue, and we're going to rent a building from FAR for $3,384. $3,000 is the rent, and $384 is for security. Why are we not using the county building that's right there in Precinct 2? I didn't quite understand that. And I was going to ask before the meeting, but I didn't get to find out. And then the second thing is I got an email showing that Senator Hinojosa, Representative Canales are behind in pushing a trauma emergency preparedness deal for a level 1 trauma center, and it just so happens it's going to be DHR. So I hope that if they bring it here for y'all to say, oh, it's a wonderful idea, don't we have other hospitals? Why is it only that one? And I believe that reading the article, it says they're going to go to legislation, and we know what they're trying to pull. They're going to try to pull in the hospital district so that they can get all the monies in one ambulance service. So I'm hoping that you will look into this and try to keep us safe and try to keep us from having to lose our homes. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
The last person, it's Jose B., and then the last name starts with a G. Jose B. Jose? No? Okay. Anybody named Jose sign up for public comments? If not, we'll move forward with the consent agenda. Mr. Cecine?
No issues that I'm aware of, Commissioner.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Great, thank you. Item 5, budget process. 5A, second public hearing to discuss 2018 proposed tax rate. Open the public hearing, please.
At this time, we'll open up the public hearing to discuss 2008 proposed tax rate. Is there anyone that wants to make a comment with respect to the 2008 proposed tax rate?
Just for the record, we're proposing the same 0.0951 tax rate, 0.0521 for maintenance and operation, debt interest sinking fund is 0.0430.
Thank you. Is there anyone that wants to make a public comment? If there's no one, then we'll close the public hearing. Next item, Mr. Cecine.
Thank you. Item B, set date, time, place to adopt District 28 tax rate. That will be September 25th, 2018 at 9 a.m. here at the Commissioner's Court, which is 100 East Cano, first floor.
Do you need action?
We need action, yes.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And you need
four?
No,
that's wrong for second, right?
And then 5C, we need to also set the time, date, and place to adopt the District 2019 annual budget, which again will be the same meeting of September the 25th, 2018, 9 a.m. here at the Commissioner's Court at Administration Building, 100 East Cano, first floor.
Move for approval. Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay, great. Oh, yes. Item 6, presentation of Dow County Drainage District 1 Annual Tax Collection Report 2017-2018. I turn it over to Mr. Peter.
Morning.
Morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning. Good. Well, we're here before you to make the annual report for the county, Hidalgo County Drainage District. And I believe if you go to this page number 1, Tom. Okay, you can go over there. All right. All right. Well, if you look at the this page here, under current collections, delinquent and rollback taxes, base amount, penalty, and interest and attorney fees, the Hidalgo County Drainage District first annual tax report from July 1st, 2017 through June 30th of 2018, we collected through our office $32,618,914.22. You go to the next page. This is just the disbursements of attorney fees, commissions, and cause rendition penalty. And at the end, the total disbursed was $32,618,914.22. The next page, or the next slide, is the recap of the current tax collections. If you look at the 2016-2017, the current collections to date, just the base amount only. Last year we collected $28,239,934.31. This year base amount was $29,826,562.62. We did collect above last year's collections $1.5 million. Last year's percentage of collection was 93.81. This year, we did collect 94.26 out of 100%, so 0.45% out of last year. I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of my staff for doing this type of taking care of customer service for our taxpayers in Hidalgo County. The next is the comparisons of percentages. In 2013, we had a 93.38. 2014, 93.80. 2015, 93.97. 2016, 93.81. And for 2017, 94.26. The next page is the recap delinquent tax collections. Last year they had a 1.4 million. This year 1.5 million. They did collect 159,000 above last year. Last year's percentage was 32.43. This year 33.76. Also, great job on that too. The next thing is also the comparisons of the 3-year comparisons. There was a 31.61 in 2012, 35.50, 33.64, and then a 32.43 in 2015. 2016, let's see. 3376. So that concludes my report. And like I said, I'm very proud of what we do. We do service we do collect for the Hidalgo County Drainage District along with the county, but we do collect for another 40 entities in the county. I'd like for my staff that's here, at least for the drainage, to stand up and be recognized for the good work that they did throughout the year. Sir, my staff over there, I got supervisors, managers, my chief, deputy. So these are people that are in the different locations throughout the county. I have people from Westlaco, Elsa, Alamo, from San Juan, from FAR, from McAllen, from Palmview, and also from this office here in Edinburgh. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for what y'all do.
And
Thank
Paul,
you.
Thank you for, I know that because we've been displaced from our office, I want to thank you and your staff for accommodating that change in venue, and thank you I know that it's been an inconvenience for everybody having to move people around. All things considered, you guys are doing a great job with those collections despite having to relocate your office. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, we're working very well with our taxpayers, informing them that if they can't go to Westlaco since it's closed, they can come over to our Elsa office, the Alamo office, San Juan, FAR, wherever they can, or Edinburgh. So I know that we're working for the future for a better office there in Westlaco. Thank you.
It's going to be good.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Paul. Next item.
Yes, sir. Item 7A, discussion, consideration and approval of the following personnel actions for the vacant account position 3, budgeted at $45,923. We're requesting a salary adjustment increase for the administration budget 003 to $49,597 to attract qualified and experienced accountant. We had posted, they had it interviewed. We're trying to get someone with accounting background that has the information that we need, or the training that we need to get them into our accounting position, and we'll bring this before the board for your consideration.
For approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B, approval of revised salary schedule in accordance with Board of Directors' approval of item A.
Approval. Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item A, requesting authority to advertise and approval of procurement packet, i.e. legal notices, specifications, draft contracts, etc. It's attached here to Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1, inlets, manholes, and related items, RFP number ACGD 1-18053-1010, including the re-advertisement of the project in the event bids are rejected or no bids are received, and the project is still required.
For approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 9, discussion of the Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 budget 2019, proposed budget for 2019 calendar year. Before you, we've put together our budget packet there for the board to consider. The first page just talks about the overall general fund budget that we have. We have projected revenues of $18,600,000. Where the adopted budget for 2018, $18,106,000. We have some personal actions that we've taken since we adopted the budget, which is some interns that we put together, some M&O positions, and some part-timers to the tune of $335,000. Health insurance premium increase is in there. The the retirement's in there as well. Longevity pay. And then we also have our cost of living adjustment that we have, the 3% we're proposing, along with we have some key personnel, some engineering personnel, some right-of-way personnel, and to consider for the adjustment for this coming year based on the work that we're doing district-wide. We're proposing that. And then we also have new positions. The new positions total $344,000, and those are heavy equipment operator positions primarily to deal with, obviously, our growing needs that we have at the district as we continue to develop more projects in-house and take in more ditches. We're looking to put more machines out on the ground there, not only for maintenance but improvements as well. So looking at that, we're proposing that. So the total increase is 1.191773 that we're proposing. We have some deletion reductions that we have from some temporary hires that we had proposed that we did not use as last rain event, which is a tune of $700,000 less. So we're projecting a budget of $18,598,458. So we have a surplus of $9,844. So it's a balanced budget we're proposing right now based on the numbers that you see. The next page just talks about the positions that we're proposing. As I mentioned, we have primarily equipment operators from 1 to 4 for equipment. We do have one truck driver that we will be adding to our personnel for our fleet. That's being proposed in those 7 positions. The next page, we have our fund balance as of September 11, 2018. The fund balance, based on what we have assigned and unassigned, combined is $21,625,000. We have the unassigned fund balance minus the June flood event appropriations and the new revenue lapse that we had from last year that carry over this year. We have a projected unassigned balance for this year of $14,619,000.
What's that $6,506,000?
Oh, we have money appropriated from 2017 for some heavy equipment, for capital improvement outlays and things like that carried over that would adjust that down for this year. And that's the projection. You'll see later how we stay under what we have our projection and usually end up with a higher fund balance. We take a conservative approach on it. So that's what that is. That's what that $6,500,000 is, sir.
And I know that in the bond proposal you have about $4 million assigned for equipment. Would that replace any of this allocation if it were to pass?
If it were to pass, it would add to what we have there, sir. Because this is already we have carried over, excuse me, that we had from 2017 for heavy equipment needs and for other capital outlay projects. So our building also was carried over. We had it assigned and it was carried over. So that's why it's shown as a negative there. But I'll move on. Let me point out the unassigned fund balance that we have on the next projected versus actual. There's a historical data there. As you see in 2014, we estimated 11.2 and we ended up with 16.7. In 2015, we estimated 13. We ended up with 21. That's because we got some monies from the state that year. So that's why the change was drastic, the variance. The next was 13 we projected, and actual fund balance was 19. And then we have an estimated 14 in 2017. We ended up with 20. So our variance usually brings that up based on income that we bring in and other sources of revenue. So the next page talks about the history of the general fund estimate versus actual. Again, our estimated revenues there, you can see they're pretty in line with the exception of 2015 with the Texas Water Removal Grant that we had in there. And then the next page, we have, excuse me, our 5-year history for capital outlay. And there we show the cost that we've had for right-of-way acquisition, the right-of-ways we acquired, drainage ditch improvements, investment in heavy equipment, and also engineering. Some of the engineering that you see on the bottom was actually money that we moved from moved into the bond projects to make sure we had monies to complete a lot of the 2012 bond project design efforts that we're doing there. So that just kind of shows the historical data. Since 2015, we've been right at, I guess, what we should be expending based on the income that they're bringing in, and that'll be shown on the next page. The general fund actual revenues is the actual expenditures, with the exception of 2015 because of that water development money. We're usually right at the amount that we budget to expend on projects. We've been doing a lot more in-house projects. We have been acquiring more property. We've been buying more material and doing a lot more work. So our expenditures have gone up since 2015 because we've been a little more active in that sense. But as far as keeping it balanced, we do have a proposed balanced budget this year. So any questions or?
So as far as comments for me, I can understand the changes that you're making with respect to personnel. I agree with you with respect to the equipment operators that we need. We need to continue to try to maintain our ditches, and obviously you have a lot of interlocals with irrigation districts and trying to maintain the ditch system that we currently have. And again, I think that this most recent rain events have highlighted how important it is for us to continue to maintain that. So with respect to that, I agree. And then the other part that I don't think a lot of people know is that we use your engineers a lot to design some of our roadways and the outfalls that are going to come with that, with bar ditching and connectivity, positive flow to our ditch system. So I think that we ourselves as a county have utilized your engineers extensively to try to improve what we do in our precinct. So I want to thank you and your staff.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Yes, sir.
Us with that as well.
Thank you for your confidence in us.
My only comment is on the COLA. Whatever we do at the county, I believe that's what we should
yes,
do at the drainage district.
Yes, sir.
And I know that that's still being worked on, but it's my comment. Commish, anything?
Excellent. Okay, so we'll present the budget next on the 25th of this month. Aside from that, I have nothing else. There is no closed session that we have.
Thank you.
Okay.
To adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Meeting's adjourned. We can now. We're now going to start our Hidalgo County Commissioners Court meeting set for September 18, 2018. We have Commissioner Precinct 1, David Fuentes, myself, Commissioner Precinct 3, Joe Flotis. We have a quorum. We can start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, inspire us today with the qualities of good leadership. Give us insight to make wise decisions, integrity to face the truth, courage to make difficult choices, and compassion for the needs of others. Make us a model of justice and honor to the world, and let us not forget that our job is to serve both you and others. Amen.
Amen.
And if you could we could all remain standing. We lost a champion for health care, founder of Remote Area Medical Volunteer Corps, Mr. Stan Brock. Judge Garcia wanted me to invite Health and Human Services Officer Mr. Eddie Olivares to say a few words, preceding a moment of silence in his honor.
Commissioners, good morning, residents. We lost a dear friend, Mr. Stan Brock, who provided our services at Operation Lone Star for dental and vision. Many of you met him during VIP Day. In the last 6 years, nearly $3 million worth of service at no cost to Hidalgo County residents. He comes all the way from Knoxville, Tennessee. He'd bring all the big old 18-wheelers and equipment. He passed away last week. And with your permission, just give recognition to a friend of the Valley and a friend of Hidalgo County to just have a moment of silence with your permission, sir. May his soul rest in peace. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Consent agenda.
Okay. Commissioners, if I may, if we could please pull from consent agenda item 3K, 5B, 9A, 1, and 2.
Move to approve without those.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Commissioners, item 3K, I'm going to ask for no action. I'll have a follow-up action item for next week on that one. Item 5B, I'm asking the court to take action, and it's contingent on the permit fee of $500.
Move for approval.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And for the record, Commissioner Fuentes is abstaining and will not interact with any type of action taken on the following. Commissioners, I'd like for the court to take action on the consent agenda item 9A, 1, and 2.
Move for approval. Second. All in favor of 9A, 1, and 2 say aye. Aye. Motion carries with Commissioner Fuentes abstaining.
Thank you.
Next item, County Judge's Office.
Good morning, Commissioners. Julia Sullivan presenting for County Judge Ramon Garcia's office. Item 5A is a proclamation declaring 2018 as Valley Voter Awareness Month. And joining us is elections analyst Hilda Salinas, along with Albert Morales and Carlos Martinez, who both are staff members at the Advocacy Alliance Center of Texas, Act Now. Whereas the farmers of the Constitution established the United States as a representative democracy that relies on civic engagement, and whereas a fundamental element of efficient democracy is the principle that all eligible citizens should participate in fair and open elections, and whereas it's the responsibility of each individual to exercise the right that so many struggle to obtain and protect, it's important for voters to always engage themselves in the electoral process and make an ardent effort to register and get out and vote. And whereas in order to reach those who have not fully embraced their rights and responsibilities as citizens, the community must expand opportunities for voter education and nonpartisan voter registration. Vital contributions in this regard can be made by grassroots organizations, by the media, by educational, cultural, and religious institutions, and by other entities in both the public and private sector. And whereas currently Hidalgo County has 358,213 registered voters, an increase of 10% from the total number of registered voters in 2014. This increase proves that there is a continuing need to work together as a community to increase participation in the electoral process in Hidalgo County and the Rio Grande Valley. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court proclaims September 20, 2018 as Valley Voter Awareness Month in Hidalgo County, and encourages all citizens to exercise their right to vote and to promote participation in the electoral process to their friends, families, and neighbors in local, state, and national elections.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Approve the 18th day of September in 2018.
Thank you, Commissioners, for approving the proclamation. This month and every month, we celebrate our democracy and the ability to exercise our right to vote. In order to exercise that right, our citizens need to register. We encourage all citizens to head to the nearest elections office and register. The deadline to register to vote in the 2018 November general election is October 9th. So residents still have time. Something that we also need to take into account are the people that are not able to get out and register to vote. We ask citizens to help those who lack transportation and or are disabled and are not able to get out and register. We need to assist those who are in need of help. Again, this is so that our voice can be heard at the polls. At this time, I would like to introduce Albert Morales and Carlos Martinez from Act Now. Our office has continuously collaborated with them in their outreach, both of us with a common goal, which is to increase the number of registered voters.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
First of all, thank you for having us this morning. We really appreciate the time. I just want to briefly get up here just to thank the county's leadership for always helping us to advance our efforts throughout the county. We really appreciate all the help that we've gotten from y'all in the past. We also want to extend our appreciation to the Elections Department and also the Public Relations Department, as well as all the departments that are part of the county. We also want to thank the community groups that we have behind us for always helping us get people out to vote as well. We want to make sure that we have the Valley's voice heard in Austin and in Washington, and that we continue advancing our efforts. So we hope that we can continue to rely on the support that the county has provided us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for Thank you very much.
I just wanted to.
Thank you very much.
Right now, we encourage everyone to stop outside and take a look at our voting machines that are on display. We've received, really nice positive comments on the machines. Also, we have our voter registrar department registering people to vote. So if you'd like to go ahead and stop by and speak to them. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Oh, yes, please. I'm going to ask.
That's fine.
Yes, please.
We do have an item on the agenda. Item 19,
Okay.
discussion on elections update. Again, it's just to reiterate that we do have our voting machines outside, as well as our voter registrar department registering people to vote. But item B, if I may proceed?
Sure.
Okay, great. Discussion, consideration and approval of the following changes to the August 14th, 2018 approved Election Day polling locations for the November 6th, 2018 election. Currently, the current location is County Commissioner Precinct 1, which is located at 1902 Joe Stevens Avenue, Suite 101 in Westlaco. We want to change that for the Mary Hogue Middle School at 2302 North International Boulevard. The reason is because the County Commissioner Precinct 1 location is still undergoing renovations because of the flooding.
That's correct. And we appreciate you reaching out, and also for West YSD helping us out with this.
Thank you.
Move for approval.
Yes.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all we have.
Thank you, Ms. Silva.
5B, Julia.
Good morning again. We have two more proclamations. Item 5B is a proclamation declaring September 25th as National Day of Remembrance for murder victims. Is Robert Garcia or any members of the families and friends of murdered children? You could all join us. Stand this way. Joining us is Robert Garcia from the Families and Friends of Murdered Children, Inc., as well as families of some of the people we've lost to murder in the Rio Grande Valley. We're going to honor them today in a presentation while I read the proclamation. Jackie, if you could go ahead and get started. Whereas National Parents of Murdered Children, POMC, established September 25th as National Day of Remembrance for Murder Victims as a result of unanimously passed resolutions by both the U.S. Senate on October 16, 2007, and the U.S. House of Representatives on May 14, 2007. And whereas POMC believes that honoring the memory of victims who have been killed by violence and acknowledging the resulting long-term trauma for families, communities, and the nation is an important way of promoting public awareness and remembering our loved ones. And whereas in 2017 there were an estimated 17,250 homicides nationwide, which equals one murder every 33.5 minutes in the United States. That national figure includes 34 homicides in the Rio Grande Valley. And whereas the murder of a loved one robs the victim's family of a mother, a father, sister, brother, son, daughter, husband, wife, partner, grandparent, aunt, uncle, extended family member, friend, neighbor, or colleague, and creates an overwhelming challenge to fill that void that their absences creates. And whereas survivors of homicide victims want their murdered children to be valued regardless of the circumstances surrounding their deaths, and their surviving children to grow up in a safe environment, recognized for their human worth rather than as statistics waiting to happen. Through leadership, grief support, and advocacy, survivors are reducing violence and promoting prevention and policy change on a local, state, and national level. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court does hereby proclaim September 25th, 2018 as National Day of Remembrance for Murder Victims in Hidalgo County.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Approve this 18th day of September 2018.
Good morning, commissioners, members of the community, and certainly my loved ones. Back in September 13 of 2011, as we all know that my brother was murdered, that's when this journey began. I didn't anticipate the journey to grow. Since we opened the doors for providing services, we have seen about 150 victims. Some have gone, some have stayed, some have gotten justice, some haven't gotten justice. And aside from, we named it the Rio Grande Valley Family and Friends of Murdered Children because now we became a family that we didn't want to be part of. And the promise that I made to my own mom was the same promise that I continue to make them. They're the resilience. They give me the strength and the courage to move on. And we have adopted a pledge to be the voice of our victims. And if you enlighten me a little bit to give me that particular pledge, I solemnly resolve before God to take full responsibility to become the voice of my loved one. I will be the voice to use this tragedy to tell stories of our pain and anger inflicted by the murder. I will be the voice that rejects the path of retaliation, shame, and isolation. I will be the voice of teaching lessons of love, compassion, and violence prevention. I will be the voice of leadership, advocacy by promoting policy change at both the local, state, and national level. I will be the voice that rejects ignorance when people tell us that we are not victims. When we have lost more precious, our loved one. Look around, I tell people. They're standing right with me. I will be the voice of the new circle of friends and families that have joined together to become one voice as what we call the Survivors Club. I will be the voice to confront the evil, the cowards that made the choice that day they killed their loved ones. That we will pursue justice. We will love mercy. And we will be the club of survivors that will stand up for justice for all. I will be the voice that demands and declares fair treatment and to all survivors of homicides by providing them the skills of kindness, respect, and compassion. During and after the trial, we will be the voice to forgive those who have wronged us. Walk with the truth. Speak the truth. No matter what background you come with, nobody has the justification to murder someone. I will be the voice to connect a self-help organizations that we are with support, ongoing emotional support, advocacy, crisis intervention, court accompaniment, and above all, the unconditional love that we have. I will, and I will be the voice and the courageously people that we are. With the strength of God, we will fulfill this pledge. As long as we breathe, we will remember them. And with God's glory, so where are the families of family and friends of murdered children? Who will stand up with us? County commissioners, the community, anyone that has been a victim of a homicide. We will be the voice for you. With that, I thank you for the opportunity to come forward with you every single September, because it is a beacon of hope when I talk to them. They give me the strength. I challenge any commissioner or members of the community to join us on the 25th. Some of the cities that we have attended and do proclamations have attended in the past. The partnership that is extended is the district attorney's office, all 18 police departments, including the sheriff's office, and certainly all victim services that start from the county to the local police departments. And with that, I want to tell you, thank you, and the community are welcome to join us that September 25th as we become the voice in unity and harmony to bring justice and awareness to the families. And the last thing I want to say, I have 200 cold cases in my database. 1/3 are from the county sheriff's department. One is too many. We got to do more. We got to put resources, investigative resources, dedicated, just as we dedicate services to the victims, to open up those cases and try to map or find areas of unity in all police departments and the investigative to bring justice to 200 cold cases. And the most that I have is about 30 years. But we stand before you in truth and obviously the compassionate that we deserve on. That's all we want, is for you to be compassionate of what we do. Thank you and God bless.
God bless.
Thank you.
Siete mucho.
Item 5C. Item 5C is a proclamation declaring October 2018 as Manufacturing Month in Hidalgo County. And joining us is Mike Willis, the Executive Director of South Texas Manufacturers Association. Victor Perez, Executive Director of the FAR Economic Development Corporation. Belinda Vargas, the Career the PSJA ISD Career and Technology Program, and Karina Lopez with FAR EDC, and Mario Liscon, who's a board member. If you all could stand to my right. Whereas for generations, manufacturing has played a critical role in Texas's diverse economy. Texas is home to approximately 17,500 manufacturing firms, 80 of which are located in Hidalgo County. And whereas manufacturing in Texas constitutes 14% of the total output in the state, totaling approximately $226 billion, that's billion with a B, in 2016. And whereas manufacturers in Texas employ 6.9% of the workforce, an estimated 875,000 manufacturing employees, including 7,500 in Hidalgo County. And whereas manufacturing jobs enable Texas families to realize their dreams of owning a home, sending a child to college, and enjoying a secure retirement, and manufacturers pay millions of dollars annually supporting schools, law enforcement, emergency preparedness, public works, and other essential services. And whereas National Manufacturing Day is held annually on the first Friday in October, and the month of October is annually celebrated as National Manufacturing Month. And whereas residents are encouraged to support the work of manufacturing companies by purchasing products manufactured here in Hidalgo County and in the United States of America. And whereas to celebrate Manufacturing Month, entities across Hidalgo County, including cities, economic development corporations, universities, school districts, manufacturing companies, and others in relevant fields, are partnering to host various events to showcase modern manufacturing technology and careers. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court does hereby proclaim October 2018 as Manufacturing Month in Hidalgo County, and recognizes the valuable contributions the manufacturing companies and their employees provide to our communities.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Approve this 18th day of September 2018.
Commissioners, I want to thank you for taking the time. I know you have a very busy schedule, so I'll be brief, but I believe from the start, about 4 or 5 years ago, the County Commissioners Court has supported our efforts. We partnered with FAR Economic Development Corporation and the PSJ School District and South Texas College. So we have an advanced manufacturing technology degree program that's in 8 school districts in Hidalgo and Starr counties. PSJ is one of those. And we have over 200 students enrolled now graduating from high school with certificates and associate degrees in advanced manufacturing technology. So there's a lot of opportunities. We're not the biggest sector in the valley, but the average weekly wages are well over $800 a week, very competitive with healthcare and some of the other higher paying sectors. We work a lot with our economic development corporations. There's a lot of interest right now because of tariffs and a lot of other things. Companies overseas taking a second look at opening operations in the United States. So we're optimistic that our sector can continue to grow and contribute to the economy here in the valley. The challenge is we need more skilled technicians. Not a lot of them, but we need people with the good skills. So we work closely with our community colleges around the valley and our school districts to try to create an opportunity for students. So this Manufacturing Day is a national day that the National Association of Manufacturers organizes and champions. And the whole focus is to let young people into the plants, let them see what a career in manufacturing looks like, and to help educate the public about manufacturing and career opportunities in manufacturing. So our partners have been very, very supportive of all those efforts, and we thank you again for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
One, two, and three.
Thank you for being here. Thank you. Item 6, District Attorney's Office.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rosalinda Cantu presenting for the District Attorney's Office. Item 6A, DA Victim Coordinator and Liaison Grant, Fund 1281, approval and authorization for County Judge to sign the inventory report form.
Move for approval. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 7, HIDA Task Force. May I proceed to HIDA?
Yes.
I got ahead of myself.
That's
HIDA OCDEF Fund 1291, authorization and approval to retroactively from 8/1/2018 and through 12/31/2018 issue straight time overtime payment as necessary to employee 114863 for hours worked and disallowed by the OCDEF grant. Hours are to be funded by Chapter 59 Fund 1251.
Move for approval. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sheriff's Office.
Morning, Commissioners. Chief Herrera with the Sheriff's Office, Hidalgo County.
Morning.
Item 8A, approval of the Sheriff/Constable fee schedules for 2019.
Move for approval. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, sirs. That's
Thank
all I
you
have.
for being here. Constable Precinct 2.
Good morning, Commissioners. Deputy Rocio. We have 2 items to present. Item A, discussion, consideration, and approval to appoint Jessica Marroquin as a Deputy Constable by Constable Martin N. Cantu, Constable Precinct 2, in accordance with the Texas Local Government Code, Section 86.011.
Move for approval. Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. B is Constable Precinct 2, CCP 59-1260, approval of 2018 appropriation of fund balance for Constable Precinct 2, Chapter 59, in the amount of $600.
Move for approval. Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. That's all we have.
Thank you. Constable Precinct 4.
Morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
Real quick here. 10A, authorization and approval to apply for the K9s for Cops grant.
Move for approval. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And 2, authorization for county judges as authorized official to sign required documents for the application.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank
you.
you. Tax Office.
We're here to also make the annual presentation for the county. And Tom? I like for our managers, my chief deputy, for everybody to come forward also too. All of you. They normally don't come here, so they're like, do I have to?
I can tell.
I like to, I like for them to be here so you know that what is it that they do throughout the year and in doing the collections for the county and at the same time I'll let them introduce themselves and see which office they're coming from. All of you guys. This way. Yeah, get on this side. Yeah, come on this way as much as we can. These are very important people in my life, which, they're the people that they're always every day out there at our tax office and motor vehicle, representing our community so we can collect the property taxes. So all of you are here, okay. Where's Tom? See? Tom, you ready to put on? Okay. Okay, the first slide that we're going to show here, under current collections, delinquent collections, and rollback taxes, base amount, penalty and interest, and attorney fees, we collected tax collections through our office, $201,577,296.79. Under miscellaneous, tax certificate miscellaneous, charge fees, SI, street light fees, hospital district funding, we collected an additional $59,771,755.65. for a total amount that went through our office, total collected of 2017-2018 Hidalgo County, $261,536,403.39. The next slide. It's the breakdown of disbursement, attorney fees, rendition penalties, total disbursed of the $261,536,403.39. The next slide, please. Okay, the recap current tax collections. On this one, if you look on the current collections to date, 2016, 2017, this is only base amount. Last year on base amount, we collected $176,643,278.06. This year, current collections to date, $183,546,397.83. And I'm proud to say that from last year to this year, we did collect $6.9 million above last year's collection. So I'm very proud of this. Managers, my chief deputy, everybody that's here. Of course, we couldn't bring our staff because we have to keep our office open, but I want them to know that everything that they do every day is important, and we appreciate them. Last year's percentage of collections was 93.94. This year, out of 100%, our collection was 94.41, an additional 0.47 from last year. The next slide is also a breakdown of 2013. Percentage of collection was 93.57, 2014 93.98, 2015 94.09, 2016 93.94, and 2017 94.41. The recap, the next page, the recap of the delinquent tax collections. The delinquent tax attorneys are here, so they're going to make that presentation. So pretty much that concludes my report for the annual collections. And if there's any questions on that, I will be more than happy to. If not, I want to have everybody introduce themselves and let you know who they are and which office they belong to, so you know that you're well represented throughout the whole county in our area. So maybe you can start with Julio.
Good morning. My name is Julio Espinosa, I'm Property Tax Manager.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Crystal Puente, Chief Accountant.
Good morning, Commissioners. Esmeralda Ramirez, Tax Office, Assessing Department.
Good morning, Eva Mireles, Chief Deputy for the Assessor Collector. If I may add, aside from an introduction here, and point out to the governing body, as you see right here on the annual report, when Mr. Verreal was presenting the total base, penalty and interest and attorney fees, under what says other miscellaneous revenues. This miscellaneous revenues of $59 million we had never seen before in years past. So we're very proud that we're working very hard because all this, it's a miscellaneous collections that we collect. A lot of people ask, miscellaneous fees. Back in the day, we used to collect for tax certificates only. The service charge fees, which we haven't increased, they stay the same. And of course, the SI fines and penalties, as you can see, $92,000 that's been going to the general fund. The street lights, and again, of course, the hospital districts. So this is a number that has been increasing throughout the years. I don't have that with you, but hopefully the next Commissioners Court that we come will be able to present the increment of increases throughout the whole year for the general fund as we continue to provide more services, to contribute to the general fund.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, good morning. My name is Edgar Jaramillo. I'm Paul's Executive Assistant there at the Tax Office.
Good morning. My name is Joel Valdez. I oversee the FAR substation.
Good morning. Christy Torres for the McAllen office on Hackberry.
Good morning. Mary Alvarado for the Edinburgh office.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lucy Flores from the Weslaco office.
Good morning, Commissioners. Linda Lara from the San Juan Precinct 2 office.
Hello,
Commissioner. Santos Castilleja, Motor Vehicle Manager. And I believe Ms. Norma Ochoa was unable to make it. She's from our mission office as well. Oh, yes, Ermelinda Esparza also was unable to make it from the ELSA office. And the Alamo office has Daisy Perez as well.
I'm sure. And one more thing that I might add, Mr. Vidal didn't go over the delinquent tax attorney report because I believe somebody from the law firm is here. But I do want to add that they've done a tremendous job in working with us. So it's very important that we let you know what the relationship with them is with us and how they work the accounts for us. We're not trying to get them out of business. You know, I say this when we go and make presentations because when we look at the collections, we're not leaving them much of the pie to collect here. Again, but this is not of any of their doing because we have been very successful in the current collections to collect that what we leave outstanding for them to collect is very small, which what does that mean? As a team effort, it works great because the faster we can collect current collections for the entity, the better. You know, for them not to go out there and collect, you know, so much or try to foreclose. We're not in the business. I know I've been asked these questions many times, and I want to clarify that because I've had open records requests as to how many foreclosed properties. The governing body and nor the tax office is in the business of taking properties from the public. We're not. I just want to state that out, that we have many opportunities for a taxpayer to come to the office and make any kind of property arrangements. That is the last resort that we want. We do not want to see anybody lose their properties. There are vendors out there that go solicit as far as offering loans. We cannot stop that. I've explained that, you know, to the public that is perfectly legal. We cannot stop that, but they have asked us to please educate the public. And since we're giving this opportunity here right now, we want to point that out, that opportunities are there. You can come by our office and make payment arrangements. You can also go to the delinquent tax attorneys and make payment arrangements. They are also not in the business to try to foreclose properties from the public. There are always many opportunities and advantages for the public to inquire as far as what they can do not to lose their property. So I just want to make that clear that the opportunities are out there from the delinquent tax attorneys in our office. You know, because my understanding that there's a lot of people that don't know that some of these things do exist. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope I answered your question.
I just want to add, thank you, Ms. Mireles, and please remain here because we're gonna do the. I want to allow Mr. Santos Castilleja to do the motor vehicle report. It's always, we appreciate your patience because we only come here once a year, but at the same time, we want to let you know what is it that we're doing every day in the tax office, now on the motor vehicle side. So at this time, I'll have Mr. Castilleja come forward and make the presentation on the motor vehicle.
Good morning, Commissioner. Santos Castilleja, Motor Vehicle Manager, and I'm here to present the statement of revenue collections. These collections totals are from the different motor vehicle transaction services the tax office provides. These are transactions such as title and initial registration of motor vehicles. As you know, registration renewals are our most common service, but also include disabled plaque cards, temporary permits, exempt registrations, and specialty license plates. Next slide. There were 741,201 different transaction types recorded for 2017, bringing in $160,413,179 at the motor vehicle office. In 2018, these are January through June, we have already, next slide, I believe, sir. We have already collected or have 417,458 transactions, bringing in $91,064,930. The fees for the average passenger vehicle has not changed. There's only one change. We'll talk about it a little bit later. It is still $84 for your basic passenger vehicle, and 15% of that amount stays with the county. 12% goes to the RMA, and 73% is sent to the state. The fee for a title is $28. 18% stays with the county. Truck renewals continue to cost $87.25. No changes there. Processing your renewals online will save the customer $1. So if you choose to do it online, you'll save $1. Renewals processed at our full-service deputies will come out to $93. This is because there is an additional convenience fee of $9 for each transaction. Title transactions processed at our full-service deputy cost $48. There's an additional $20 convenience fees at those locations. Registrations processed at our dealer deputy locations is $94. Dealer deputies are entitled to a $10 convenience fee, but may no longer keep the $1 portion of the processing and handling fee. That's the only change in the fees this year. The title fee continues to be $28, processed through the dealer deputy. Renewals processed at our limited service locations include HEB, Fred Loya, Guzman Insurance, will go for $84. They are entitled to $1 of the processing fee. That's it right there. Next slide. Total collections for Road and Bridge in 2017, $5,926,890. When you add net registration commissions, including the additional sales tax commission, it totals $13,456,191. An additional $912,120 was collected from title commissions. That is 82,424 titles processed at our office. Miscellaneous collections include beer and wine collection commissions totaling $138,443, NSF charges $5,770, and city scofflaw fees collected were $200,286. Title registration fees generated, title service fees generated $11,500. And our bank also began to earn interest in 2017, bringing in $20,607. Total county collections is about $14.7 million. Adding the RMA collection fee of $5.9 million brings our total collections to just the previous slide, $20,688,032.77 of the county collections. There was a graph there totaling the collections, and it's been steady. It is a little bit less than last year, but we're staying steady. We also collected $140 million for the great state of Texas. The majority of that is sales tax, which totaled $94,148,532. There was state inspection fees collected by our office of $4,550,063. The total amount collected from the motor vehicle office again was $160,791,514.75. As you can see from the graph there, our office collections did go down compared to last year, but it is comparable to 2015. The decrease can be attributed to last year's Hurricane Harvey. We had, next slide, and our final slide is, so we had 608,697 vehicle registrations in 2017 and steadily continue to increase. So we still had the vehicles coming in, renewing, and of course the registrations that we've had. This concludes our presentation. I'd like to thank you for having me. If there's any questions, please let me know.
Thank you.
No? Thank you. Okay. I also want to remind everyone to please be careful when purchasing vehicles that may be subject to flood damage. Please, be aware of that. Do your title checks. Check it thoroughly, and have it inspected.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You guys do a good job, Paul.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I want to thank you, Commissioner Flores, Commissioner Cantu, also for the new office that we have in 300 East Hackberry, McAllen, and of course, Commissioner Fuentes for supporting us, because once we have so many people in our area and then we need the office expanded or we need more employees, I'd like for you to support us, because what we want to do together is just continue to give that good customer service. So thank you very much.
Also consider collecting from the RMA. Are we collecting money from the RMA?
Oh, the RMA, yes, we've been collecting for them. I'm more sure it's like over.
No, not the amount that we collect for them, the amount that they pay us for collecting.
Oh, they haven't paid us anything, so I would like to see how we can establish something, because now we're talking.
Well, we've talked about it. I mean, we're providing a huge service to them, and they should pay for that service, just like everybody else does.
Right. You know, if I have an accountant, if I have a cashier, that person keeps getting everything piled up, and sometimes we would need some kind of a budget too, so we can have a staff to oversee that RMA and continue, you know, making it grow. But definitely, you know, that would be something we can discuss. Appreciate that.
Okay. Thank you. And 12, Executive Office.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'm going to just temporarily skip over 12A, 1 and 2 and go to 12B. I'm going to ask Ms. Canales in the audience. I'm sorry, Michael.
It's all right. Thank you, Walde. Good morning, Commissioners. Just for the record, Michael Cano, partner with Linebarger, your delinquent tax attorneys, and with me this morning is our managing and capital partner, Ms. Lucy Canales, who everybody here is very familiar with. And I'm here to present our fiscal year report for July 2017 that ran through June of 2018. And I'm actually glad that Mr. Villarreal went before us, because obviously his office is tasked with collecting the lion's share of the tax dollars in this county. And I like to think that we're kind of the cleanup crew. We come and collect what was not able to be collected up front. So, and what I'd like to do is also kind of go a little slower than we usually do in our quarterly reports, because I know we just talk about the amount of money collected. And take the opportunity to kind of go over the overall tax picture for the county and let the county know how they're doing tax-wise for this past fiscal year. I'll start with going over, and it kind of makes sense to talk about the 2016 fiscal tax year that rolled over to us first, because that's really the bulk of the money that we collect on the delinquent side. And then I'll look at the total collections, and then we'll obviously go through the tax roll analysis, what we do for your taxpayers, and what we do on the litigation side. If we look at the next slide, again, Mr. Paul Villarreal's office is tasked with collecting that very first, what we call the current tax year. So for the 2016 tax year, when he started collecting that back in October through the end of January, when he collected that from October through the end of June in 2017, he collected almost 95% of that. And I know that Mr. Villarreal was very quick just to go over the numbers. What's really important here is the percentage, because basically you're collecting nearly 95% of your tax levy up front, and that's a phenomenal rate. There's not many counties this size that are collecting 95% of their tax bills within that first 6-month period. So what Mr. Villarreal is not able to collect during those first 6 months, the balance of that, which is, you'll see it's $11,385,000, got transferred to our office July 1st. So like, Ms. Eva Mireles was saying, every year as their percentage goes up, they're leaving less and less for us to collect. So what I'd like to say, out of that $11 million that was transferred over to our office July 1st, we actually collected $6 million, a little over $6.2 million, which represents 56% of your taxes. Now, what's really important here, and I'm kind of a numbers guy, I'll tell you that between the 95% that Mr. Villarreal collected with the $6.2 million that we collected, that means you collected basically 97.3% of your 2016 tax year in their first year alone, which is a phenomenal rate. Again, I know Mr. Villarreal just talked about the dollars, but I think the percentage is very, very important here. Now, if you take a look at the very next slide, you'll see that for the past fiscal year from July 2017 through June 2018, which is the bar chart on the right side, we collected just over $10 million. Now that $10 million reflects that $6 million we collected of the 2016 tax year, plus all the previous tax years that we're also collecting, whether it be 15, 14, 13, 12, and whatnot. So, and we always benchmark to the prior year. The prior fiscal year, we had collected $9.2 million, so we had an increase of just over $861,000. And then again, in an environment which our pool of money is getting smaller and smaller, the fact that we're able to collect more dollars is really impressive, and we're really proud of the work that we do. Now, if you look at the very bottom of those bar charts, you'll see that Last year, the amount of the amount of delinquent taxes available to collect was $30 million. This year, it's just over $31 million. So what we look at is a percentage, because obviously there's more to collect from. Obviously, we should be collecting more dollars. And on the very next slide, you'll see that for this past fiscal year, we had a collection rate of 32.05% compared to the previous fiscal year of 30.37%. And again, this is one of the highest rates we've seen in the past few years, so we're very proud of the work that we've done. And again, it's always easy to show more dollars collected because as the county continues to grow, there's obviously more money to collect from. But on a percentage basis, we're collecting a lot more as well. On the following page, what we did is we broke down your delinquent tax roll. And basically, your delinquent tax roll is all the amount of taxes owed to the county that's outstanding. And you'll see that the lion's share, the greatest percentage, 22% of it, is this 2016 tax year. That which we did not collect, that's the lion's share. And then you have 2015, it's a little over $3 million, 2014, $2 million. And the reason why we wanted to highlight this is we wanted you all to see that obviously as the years go by, we continue to collect those dollars, and what's owed to the county as far as the age of that year, it starts to compromise a smaller and smaller percentage of what is actually outstanding to the county. We obviously bundled up 2001 through 2006 and 2000 and prior because those amounts are very, very small. But if you look at that pie chart, as you work your way around from the right side to the left, you'll see that the percentages continue to get smaller and smaller. It's always harder to collect those, and a lot of times we wish we could get to a net zero where we could collect everything, but some people file bankruptcy. You have some people who are over 65 and file tax deferrals. So there's legal reasons why we cannot collect that money, but you'll see that your roll gets leaner and leaner as the tax years get older. On the very next slide, you'll see that how we actually go about collecting all this money for the county. This past fiscal year, we did 6 mailings. A little over 107,000 pieces of mail went out from our office. We did over 46,000 phone calls. Basically means we field about 900 phone calls a week in our office with your taxpayers. We conducted nearly 8,000 property inspections, which means at least 100. Every week we visit 150 families here within the county, and that is actually physically showing up at their homes, sending a representative to talk to them, and working out some type of a payment arrangement. And we actually took in about a little over 10,000 people come to our office, and that's over about 200 a week. Taxpayers coming in our office, and again, we sit down with them with the ultimate goal of trying to work out some type of a payment arrangement. Now, when it comes down to the litigation, obviously sometimes it's necessary to file a lawsuit. You'll see that this past fiscal year we filed just over 1,500 lawsuits, trying to collect nearly $3 million. Out of those lawsuits, over 1,200 of them were paid off for a little over $2 million. We took 862 judgments for about $2.3 million, and we executed 119 tax warrants for a little over $400,000. And tax warrants are basically on business personal property. When we see that a business is perhaps about to shut down and they haven't paid their business personal property, what we do is we actually get a bench warrant, a tax warrant, that allows us to use a constable's office, a sheriff's office, to go out there, seize the business until we recover the amount of money they owe. And if they don't, then we obviously seize the property and we'll sell it by auction. But I can tell you that an overwhelming majority of the people that are the businesses that we don't want to shut the business down, and an overwhelming majority of those businesses do end up paying their business personal property tax. On the very next slide, you'll see that obviously it is necessary sometimes that we sell some properties, and I want to slow down here because, as Ms. Mireles pointed to earlier, we are not in the business of foreclosing on properties. That's actually the last thing we want to do. But I think we all recognize that it is actually very beneficial to use the foreclosure process for some of these properties. A lot of these properties are eyesore, properties within certain communities. They've been abandoned. Perhaps the original owners of the property deceased without a will, so no one really has ownership of the property. And those are really the properties we go after. And I think every quarter when we come here and we present to the county, we're always very proud to present to the county that we're not displacing families from their homes. Out of these 242 properties that we put up for sale this last fiscal year, I can tell you that in a very rare occasion did we actually put up a homestead for sale. 99% of these properties are actually empty lots, commercial properties, or rental properties, and that's usually what we target. So you'll see that we actually we pulled some, before we actually get to the sale. 17 actually came in and made payment arrangements. Some were paid in full. The 14 where it says pulled for other, that's a very small percentage. That's usually because the taxpayer either files bankruptcy or they get a temporary restraining order through the court, and we work through that process. But you'll see the bulk of what we did, 111 properties were actually sold. So that when we sell those properties, that's an immediate influx of revenue back into the county of just over $320,000. And then the red portion, those 69 properties, those are struck off properties, which basically means we failed to get the minimum bid at the tax sale. So, and now this is a very important distinction, because that red block of properties, those 69 properties, basically the county takes over ownership of those properties at that point in time. And once you take over ownership of that property, it becomes tax exempt. So not only are you owed money from the taxes, now you're kind of holding that inventory of property, and it's now tax exempt. So the following slide actually talks about, or actually shows what we do with those struck off properties, and we have what's called a tax resale. So resale means we go back and we sell it a second time. Now the second time we put up for sale, the law allows us to take a little bit less than either the amount of taxes owed or the appraised value. So we're able to dispose of those completely. And this past year we did 2 resales. You'll see that in October of 2017 we actually sold 21 properties for $68,000, or we brought in $68,000 of revenue. And in February of 2018 we sold 37 properties, bringing in $64,000 in revenue to the county. But more importantly, we put these properties back in the hands of private taxpayers, so the properties can be taxed from that point going forward. Now, on the very next page, you'll see that we actually have what I believe is the most advanced website. We're always trying to find ways to increase the marketing of these tax sale properties, because obviously the more we sell them for, the more we recover for the county. For the past year now, we've had an interactive website. Any investor from across the state or the U.S. can go to our website and see what properties are coming up for sale. Many years ago, all we provided was just basically a list that had a legal description. Now you can go to our website a month in advance. If you're interested in properties for sale in a certain city, and the parameters are pretty much unlimited. You can look on a certain street, in a certain neighborhood, in a certain city, and you can see what's going up for sale, and you can actually see pictures of the property as well. So we're very proud of the website, and it's really increased the amount of money that we're recovering for the county. Again, in addition to all the substations that the county has, that Mr. Villarreal and his office staff, we have at least one office in each precinct of this county. We're very proud of that fact, and these are offices that we staff with our employees. And on the slide there, you'll see the different locations that we're located at. And again, I really want to reiterate what Ms. Eva Mireles said, that we have a very close working relationship with your tax office. It is always our goal to work something out with your taxpayers. And I'll tell you that an overwhelming majority of your taxpayers that live in homes that owe taxes do want to work something out. And so we sit down with them, and we go to great lengths to accommodate them to make sure that we don't use that foreclosure process. And thankfully, despite the fact that Mr. Villarreal is making it harder for us to collect money, we're still able to increase not only the amount of money we're collecting, we're able to increase the percentage of the amount that we're collecting without having to displace families from their homes. That's pretty much it, unless anybody has any questions. This is just for informational purposes only. But again, I want to thank all of y'all for giving us the opportunity to service not only you all, but obviously the citizens of this county. We take our job very seriously, and we do it as ethical as possible. And that's about it.
Thank you. It's a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy. Next item.
12C, Commissioner.
Yes, sir.
I'll get to 12A, 1 and 2 in a little bit. 12C, I'm requesting approval of a revised interlocal cooperation agreement between County of Hidalgo and City of Mercedes, Texas, and this is on veteran services to be offered in the eastern or to continue in the eastern part of the county. For the record, the revised interlocal will address the IT needs. I met last week with Commissioner Villarreal from Mercedes with respect to the area that they will be allowing us to use. And in looking at, I had Mr. Ramos with me from the office, and looking at their MDF room, the IT room, Mr. Ramos and their IT director individual, actually Mr. Ramirez is in the audience if he could, collaborated, and there is one issue that we just need to address with respect to the IT is the connectivity with respect to our system, their system. So we're going to revise that to include the IT component on our end. There is no additional cost. They are allowing us to use the area for a nominal $10 a year cost. And as I've talked to the court, the services to be offered over there will be our VSO office. We're going to do a rotational basis. I had proposed once a week, 8 hours a week, but in talking to Commissioner Vidal and the need in the eastern part of the county, we do have a large constituency that lives in the eastern part of the county. I think what we'll do is we will start off with a couple of days out of the week, and we'll start off with 2 VSOs so that we can start talking to the vets out there and informing them of the appointment system. We will address walk-ins as they come in. And then thereafter, as I said, we'll have a rotational basis of all our VSOs. As I told Commissioner Villarreal, we need our constituency out there with respect to this endeavor, which is our veterans constituency, to know that there are 5 veteran service officers that are there to assist them. And so, as I said, we will be doing a rotational basis. We'll start off with 2, and then we'll do the rotation thereafter. Mr. Ramirez, again, did I cover that right with respect to the...
Exactly right. You're looking for Saul Rodriguez is the name of the...
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Right, okay. So, with that being said, I'd like for the court to take action on that revised interlocal cooperation.
Move for approval. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item D, I'm asking the court to accept settlement check from Geico Insurance Company in the amount of $8,386.94. This will settle an auto accident claim with one of our county vehicles.
Move for approval. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners. As I said, I will come back to 12A, 1 and 2.
Human Resources.
Good morning, Commissioner Schultz. We get up from Human Resources. Item 13A, I need to get approval on the waiver for the budget amendment policy for personnel-related amendments for personnel items that are listed below.
Move for approval. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 13B, this is for the salary schedule. For the law library, there's an employee that was underpaid, so we're asking approval of the salary schedule corrections as listed on Exhibit A. Approval of back effective 4/30th. Number 2 is approval of back pay in the total amount of $70 for employee number 088625 pursuant to Section .082 of the classification compensation pay plan. The employee was his actual salary was $17 an hour. We were paying him at $16.83, so we need to make that correction.
Move for approval. Second. All in favor say aye. 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 Motion carries.
Item C for the HIDA task force. I'm not sure if the item is funded, so we're going to request approval with subject to funding, but they're asking approval of the following personnel actions effective upon Commissioner's Court approval. Is they want to delete a position, slot 010 and 33. That's one position paid out of 2 accounts. It's intelligence research specialist. It's a grade 8, and they want to create slot 016/0045, a criminal research specialist at grade 11.
Move for approval. Second. All in favor say aye. 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 Motion carries.
You have one.
Yeah. Thank you.
Commissioners, we're asking on item D, classification and compensation plan approval to revise section 8.0 02 of the classification plan relating to probationary employees. Under our plan currently, employees on probation cannot be promoted or apply for positions in another department. Commissioner Cantu has asked me to relook at that, and we have worked with Commissioner, and we're proposing to revise the policy to read as follows. Probationary employees who are promoted or who transferred during their probationary period and who have completed more than 3 months of their probationary period in their previous department will have their probationary period extended and must complete a minimum of 3 months of probation in their new department. Employees who have completed 3 months or less in their previous department are only required to complete the required 6 months in total. What that means is that an employee who's on probation and they apply for a job and are selected and they've completed 5 months, they have to complete a minimum of 3 in their new department. So the minimum of 3 is always in the new department. If they've completed only 2 months of probation, then they have to complete 4 in the new department. So they always complete 6, but they may have to complete more in order to give the new department sufficient time to evaluate the performance.
The main purpose of this amendment is if we had an employee in probation, under probation, and they applied for a different position that they qualified for, they couldn't apply for it and they couldn't go for a different position, which probation is supposed to help the employer, and yet it wasn't allowing us, or it wasn't allowing the employee to apply for a different position. And for instance, I had a situation where I had a truck driver 1 who should be a truck driver 2, but he was on probation, so he couldn't apply for that position. And so I'm having to wait. I would have had to wait 6 months for him to finish probation, go to the new position, and then be able to hire somebody else in his old position. So it's just something that came up, and we're addressing it.
And I run it by our civil division, civil legal division.
Move for approval.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you for that work, Raul.
Thank you, Commissioners. That's all I have.
Urban County.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Tony Barco, Urban County. 14A1, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262-024A7, an item that can be obtained from only one source, including A, items from which competition is precluded because of the existence of patents and copyright secret processes or monopolies.
Move for approval.
Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2, action to declare some grants as a sole source with approval to purchase products, upgrades, yearly subscriptions, maintenance, and support unless said declaration is revoked by Hidalgo County Commissioners Court.
Move for approval. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
3, authorization to purchase a federal grant online application management solution, including 1-year subscription, program fees, and account activation. The amount of $12,750, subject to compliance with HB 1295 when and if applicable.
Move for approval. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 4, authorization to renew annual subscriptions on a yearly basis as needed.
Move for approval. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 14B, subject to HB 1295 compliance, requesting approval of a best and final negotiated contract for construction material testing services with Sturicon Consultants, Inc., in the amount of $5,400, utilizing CDBG fiscal year 2016 City of Elsa street improvements funds.
Move for approval. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2, approval of work authorization number 1, Sturicon Consultants, Inc., in the amount of $5,400.
Move for approval. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 14C, the Urban County Program is requesting approval of a program amendment for the City of Hidalgo. The proposed amendment is for fiscal year 2015 work plan.
Approval. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 14D, requesting approval of a budget and program amendment for the City of Mercedes fiscal year 2016 work plan.
Move for approval.
Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Health and Human Services. Thank you. Adult probation. We'll wait till Valde gets back on that. 17, Community Service Agency.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jaime Longoria with the Community Service Agency of Hidalgo County. Item A is discussion and update regarding the 2018-2019 Texas Veterans Commission grant for Operation Bravo Zulu. Thank you. Commissioners, what Monica's passing out is a copy of the flyer for this year's Operation Bravo Zulu. We're proud to say that we received a $300,000 grant from the Texas Veterans Commission to serve the veterans of Hidalgo County that are living below 200% of federal poverty. Actually 2 years ago, we were able to serve 580 veterans to the tune of a little bit over $200, a little bit over $500 per family to assist them with their utility payments. This year, we wrote pretty much the same grant, and we're looking to identify those veterans that are still struggling, that are living below 2 times the federal poverty level in our county, and provide services to them. So I provided you a flyer and also provided you a little button that we give all of the veterans. Operation Bravo Zulu is named Bravo Zulu because in military jargon, Bravo Zulu means job well done. So it's our way, Hidalgo County's way, of saying to the veterans that are honorably discharged and provided service to our country, thank you for a job well done on behalf of Hidalgo County. So if you're not a veteran, we would ask that you would take the button and you would share it with a veteran as your way of saying thank you to those folks, those ladies and gentlemen, for providing services. The flyer also includes kind of a breakdown of what the federal poverty, 200% of federal poverty means. So for a family of one, if you have a family that's earning $24,280 or less, then that veteran would qualify for assistance. So it goes all the way down the list, all the way to, for instance, a family of 4. The guideline is $50,200 or less. They would qualify. So you would see that the income guidelines are a little bit more generous than a lot of the other programs that are out there that provide assistance. And we're very proud of that because it's flexible enough to allow us to assist as many veterans as possible. At this time, I'd entertain any questions from the court. If there's not, we'll move on to the next item.
Thank you.
Next item is discussion, consideration, and approval regarding revised advisory board bylaws as per recommendation by the Hidalgo County Community Service Agency Advisory Board on August 24th, 2018. What you have in front of you, gentlemen, is a copy of our bylaws. Just on page 3 is the one revision. It's a really editorial revision where we cleaned up some language on the terms. The terms for our board members would be they'd be allowed to serve 2 3-year terms, and we cleaned up the language.
Move for approval. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners. Item C is discussion, consideration, and action to open 2 new bank accounts for the following grants: Foster Grandparents Program and the Senior Companion Program, with designation for Hidalgo County Judge Ramon Garcia and CSA Executive Director Jaime Longoria as signatories on such accounts.
Second. All in favor say aye. 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 Motion carries.
Authorization. Item 2 is authorization for County Judge Ramon Garcia and Jaime Longoria to sign any and all pertinent documents associated with the establishment of these accounts.
Approval. Second. All in favor say aye. 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 Motion carries.
Item D is authorization to accept a donation from Nueces Electric Cooperative Energy in the amount of $436.14 under the member-to-member program earmarked to assist the Nueces Electric Cooperative Energy customers qualifying for utility assistance in Hidalgo County.
Move for approval. Second. All in favor say aye. 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 Motion carries.
Just as a point of information, gentlemen, Nueces Electric Co-op serves the northern part of our county. It's a very small rural cooperative, and so they provide us a little bit of funding to assist their families that might be in need of assistance. So we're very grateful to Nueces Electric Co-op. Thank you so much.
Thank you. 18 IT Department.
Good morning, Commissioners. Presenting item 18A, approval for the following requests for wireless devices as listed on the grid for Commissioner 1, Commissioner 4, and the IT Department.
Move for approval. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Have a great morning.
Thank you. You should handle stuff like that. You're going to go to adult probation?
Yes, for adult probation, they could not be with us this morning. They had a conflict on their schedule, so I'm asking the court to consider for the adult probation. This is Fund 1289, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the DWI grant program income in the amount of $1,471.
For approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And the second is approval of appropriation of the DWI program income in the amount of $1,471.
Approval. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And Commissioners, if I may go back to item 12A, 1 and 2. Item 12A2, emergency situations, occurrences, last agenda meeting. I just saw Chief Saldana in the audience.
He walked out.
He walked out. Okay.
Colin? Sarah Colin? He just walked out. There he is.
Chief, my apologies. Just as a quick presentation with respect to the weather event efforts that were undertaken this past week, just as a quick update to the court and to the general public.
Sure. Good morning, Commissioners. As of today, we still continue dewatering operations in Precinct 3 with the help of Precinct 1 and 2 with their water trucks. Precinct 4 is currently working on Ruth Road and 17 and a half, the Seminary Road dewatering project, and then they got other portions within the county north of 1925. They got some dewatering operations going on. We are currently supporting TxDOT 3 miles north of 281 from San Manuel on water that they have on the southbound lane. They did some counterflow for about a mile stretch. It's still going on. Thanks to Precinct 1 and the Drainage District providing pumps to help with that dewatering operations. TxDOT has been very, very thankful for that approach. We are still under the emergency declaration due to the fact that the governor signed a state declaration for 78 counties. We don't know if he's going to add more because of the storm moving up north, but we're still there. We have asked all the departments and precincts to do their proper paperwork for us to submit those supporting documents to the state of Texas. We are going to hopefully hold a special meeting to extend the declaration because of the continuous dewatering operations throughout some of those precincts.
Right, and I'm glad you're bringing that up, and that's under Section 418.108 of the Texas Government Code that you just mentioned with respect to the continuance of the local state of disaster. And that is scheduled for Thursday at 3 o'clock. It should take all of 2, 3, 4 minutes. So it's this Thursday at 3 p.m. here in the Commissioner's
And it's important that we get it done because of the amount of dewatering that we're still going to continue doing in Precinct 3 and in Precinct 4. It's very important that we get that taken care of. Okay, that's all I have, Mr. Guerra.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Commissioners, just real quickly, under item 12A1, update on ongoing county-owned building construction, relocation, and/or renovation repair projects. Just as a point of information, the road sign outside that goes through Klausner says that the road is to be closed tomorrow, the 19th. We are scheduled to close on the 19th. Actually, there is activity right now in the medium. It's careful activity because we still have the road traffic going east, north and south, but it is scheduled to be closed tomorrow, and so we are having a 3 o'clock briefing on that road closure for tomorrow. Commissioners, that is all I have at this time.
Do we need to do this agenda item, a separate one?
It's for Thursday.
Oh,
Thursday.
Okay. So just stay here. Head Start.
Good morning. The very first item that we have is discussion and approval to submit the 2019 budget application. 2 parts. One is for the Department of Health and Human Services, and the other is for the Texas Department of Agriculture. The total amount for the Department of Health and Human Services is $26,913,428, and an additional $322,586 for training and technical assistance, for a total of $27,236,014. The TDA application is for $3,466,977.22. The number one on the Department of Health and Human Services, you have several items. The first is the letter that we received telling us about the funding, and it has earmarked, as I said, $322,586 for training and technical assistance. That's the first part behind the yellow tab. Then we have the letter that we submit with the explanation on the submittal of the budget. The budget includes a $6,809,004 for in-kind services. That's 20% match, which is secured through volunteer services, through partnerships, assisting through teachers that are provided by the district's 104.5 classroom teachers, space, transportation services, and so on. We can provide any detail of that information that you'd like to have. We have a shortfall of 7% for us to have to find and look through every budget item for us to be able to meet the plan to have an increase in insurance. That's a total of $310,492. To achieve this, we've been able to manage partnering, of course, to relocate services. For example, in the McAllen area, we had 4 centers that now they're consolidated into 2, and we're in district facilities. So that is going to help us to save some funding. Vacant positions, the consolidation allowed us to have 1 teacher position, 1 assistant teacher position, and 1 custodial position, which are vacant. Weslaco ISD provides us with 2 bus drivers, bus aides, buses, and Mercedes provides us with 1, and PSAA provides us with 1. Currently, we have vacancies in the transportation department, which we have not been able to fill. We continue to have 4 vacant positions, but the other 4 are being reduced in the budget since we are having those 4 from those school districts provided for us. So in total, when we look at personnel, we were able to reduce by 11. A teacher, an assistant teacher, 4 bus drivers, 4 bus aides, 1 custodian. And that allowed us to be able to make up the money that we need for us to be able to take care of insurance increases. Okay. If you look down, the information that is listed in there talks about the fringe benefits and how much is going to be saved by doing that. For us to be able to balance our budget and submit it, taking care of the needs that we have, there are no increases in salaries. There are no equipment purchases. We're going forward with a bare bones budget, but still be able to meet what we need to do for our children. And as I said, we're very grateful to the school districts who have allowed us the opportunity to partner and have helped us in the process of being able to save funds in transportation, in utilities, in space, and also to help us meet the 20% match. If you look at the section where we have the right after the section that's called the budget, the TDA and the by department, it has a pie and it shows you where we have the distribution of the budget, and we have 9% in administrative costs, and the rest of it is in programmatic costs. We can use up to 15%. We've never been there. We've always used 9% or less. There's a section there that looks at the budgeted positions, which remain the same except for the numbers that I have pointed out in a reduction. And the last part, it's the budgeted positions that show over, since 2004. And when we look at the numbers, you'll see that we have reduced from last year to this year by 11 positions. And that in itself is the budget for the Office of Head Start. Are there any questions that you have?
I was going to ask you, not too long ago, remember there was some money left over that was supposed to be for the increases of the teachers, wasn't it?
It was admin.
Uh-huh.
It was for the administrative it was for both.
It was for both, right?
Right.
It was across the board, I think.
We had a 2.6 across the board funding from the Office of Head Start on the cost of living. And there was like about 60-some thousand left over, which we indicated to you at the time would be towards helping us with this insurance part. So that also
the
helps.
Insurance increase is how much? 7%?
7%, $300 and some $1,000.
6-7%.
Yes, we hope that it would be less, but it isn't. I hope it's not more. Okay. So. I don't know if at any point the commission will consider we were able to bid on our own for insurance costs, because I'm not sure that there's an advantage or not for us as a smaller unit. I'm not sure. But
typically not.
We're just really very concerned that every year we end up with a situation that causes us to really, really cut down.
Yeah, unfortunately, healthcare, it's every year for all of us.
Yeah, even in the person.
Yeah. So you need a action.
Approval, yes.
Move approval.
Yes.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
The second part was the TDA budget, and the TDA budget is the Texas Department of Agriculture. And when you look at the TDA budget, it is based on reimbursement, and we were able to get a little bit more, and so they're able to get a van and another walk-in freezer that they're needing, and they pay for part of the custodial salaries along the way to help the program, because the custodians help serve the food, and so we're able to take care of a little bit from there too. So. As far as the TDA budget is concerned, the total is $3,466,977. So that one also needs to be approved.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, let me get back to the other items. We have a memorandum of understanding the ISRPM, which we came to you with some revisions of that particular memorandum, and we needed one more, which is the one that has the full-day teachers in the program, to be able to reflect the assessment instrument and the requirements of the assessment instrument that we have now adopted that matches the district's assessment, to reduce the amount of time used in assessing children. So we're requesting approval for the MOU. Revised Memorandum of Understanding for the Integrated School Readiness Model between Hidalgo County Head Start Program, PSAA, Independent School District.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
The next one is approval to enter into a Memorandum of Understanding between the Hidalgo County Head Start Program and Community Service Agency for the Foster Grandparent Program, and we have a high regard for that program. It really helps us, and so we're asking for approval.
Move for approval on 20C.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
The next one is a request from the Westlake YSD to approve an addendum to the Memorandum of Understanding talking about the additional buses, that they're adding in there, and so we're asking for approval. And this was from their legal counsel submitted to us to add to the MOU.
Move for approval on 20D.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
It also identifies Klecker Elementary as a place where the children can go for a safe location if they needed to move out from where we are. Letter E, discussion approval of the training technical assistance plan. That is part of the budget. I told you that we have over $300,000 that we have to use in training, and so we have to submit an additional section to the budget that talks about the plan, and it's a detailed plan that takes care of training and technical assistance for our staff.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Letter F is discussion approval of the 2017-2018 Program Information Report. Every year, this is a report that goes to the Office of Head Start. It has all kinds of data, including education level of parents, whether they're employed, their home language, and it goes on to ask about staff and their education levels and so forth. So this particular report is part of what we provide in our website also. So every year it has to be updated by August 31st, and it requires your approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
The G is discussion approval of revised area distribution for program year 2018-2019, and that has to do with the children, and we have relocated slots and moved classrooms and relocated classrooms, and so it changed a little from the last time we came to you for approval, and we must come every time we relocate any classrooms or slots to another location. And so we're asking for approval for that area. It's about an average of 600 and some, between 500 and 600 children in 6 areas of the county.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Yes, the last item is discussion approval for our program. Attorney has requested an increase in the hourly rate. Mr. Gonzalez, Rick Gonzalez is our attorney. The last time his hourly rate was adjusted was in 2009, and he is requesting from $150 to $175 an hour, and we recommend that it be approved.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And that's the last one.
Sarah, can you call Valde? We're going to go into executive session for one quick item, and we'll come right back. And so let me just read that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pursuant to Chapter 551, Texas Government Code, Sections 551.071 and 551.072, we're going to go back to executive session just for one quick item, and we'll be right back. Which one are we going on? We're going to go in for C, 27C, cause number CL17-0367, Raul Muñiz and Daniel Muñiz versus Hidalgo County, Texas, County Court of Law number 6, Hidalgo County, Texas. We need a motion and move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. We'll be right back. We're back from executive session. Do we need to take action?
Judge, Commissioners, my apologies. Let me just real quickly, sorry. Under open session, real estate acquisition, appropriation for same, there's no action to be taken. 29B, pending and or potential litigation, there's no action to be taken. 29C, cause number CL17-0367F, Raul Muñiz and Daniel Muñiz versus Hidalgo County, Texas, County Court of Law number 6, Hidalgo County, Texas. We'll just proceed as directed. With that being said, then there is no need to take any action under 28A and 28B at this time. And then we can go back to our regular agenda.
Mr. Arredondo.
Good morning, Commissioners. TJ Arredondo for the record. First item is discussion and approval to allow the dedication of an off-site 50-foot drainage easement to Hidalgo County for the purpose of running a storm sewer pipe from the proposed Camino de Abraham subdivision to a Drainage District Number 1 regional detention facility. We're recommending approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Next item is approval of application for a right-of-way pipeline and utility permit for Magic Valley Pipeline LP. This is an open cut on Mile 11 North and Hohen Road intersection for a 16-inch gas line to be lowered. In order to avoid conflict with the J09 drainage project, we're recommending approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
The last item is approval of application for a right-of-way pipeline and utility permit for Texas Gas Service. This is for work to be performed at the Tower Road and Las Milpas Road intersection to remediate coating damage to a 4-inch gas line. We're recommending approval.
Move for approval.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, TJ.
Morning, Commissioners. Item 22A, appointment of board member to the Tropical Texas Behavior Center Board of Trustees for a 2-year term.
And I didn't give you the name. Let me look it up.
Would want to be there.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, Mando, for helping me out. I appoint Gabriel Castañeda.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Top Chief.
For the record, Don Medina for precinct number 4. Good morning, Commissioners. Review, discussion, consideration, and authorization to enter into an unimproved property contract to purchase 5.86 acre tract lying in and between part of Tract 84, San Salvador del Tule Grant, Hidalgo County, Texas, for the Brewster Park project. Upon authorization, request that the county executive officer be authorized to initial and sign said contract.
Move for
Move
approval.
approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 2, discussion and authorization for the executive officer to execute earnest money contract to purchase 5.86 acre tract lying between a part of Tract 84, San Salvador del Tule Grant, Hidalgo County, Texas, for the Brewster Park project, and request county auditor to review and complete processing procedures, and for the county treasurer to issue a manual check in the amount of $1,000 to Meyer and Guerrero LLP, IOLTA account, and escrow agent located at 308 North 15th Street, McAllen, Texas, 751, as earnest money deposit.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Commissioners, with your permission, Mr. Cruz is out of town. Item 24 under Budget and Management, 24A, approval to reclassify county-provided compensation at drug court and alternative incarceration program from regular full-time employees, Object 113, to supplemental pay, Object 117, effective September 1st, 2018.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 24A2, and then the approval of the transfer.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
24B is the Tech Stop Precinct 4 FM 2220. This is Fund 1315. Action item, discussion, consideration, approval of construction and maintenance agreement for the FM 2220 drainage outfall improvements between Hidalgo County and the Texas Department of Transportation for FM 2220 road project. The project number is CSJ 2094-01-038, and this is with authority for the county judge to sign all required documentation.
Approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
24C is our flood control water extract for year 2018. This is a Fund 1100. We're asking approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for revenues received for insurance proceeds from damages sustained during the June 2018 rain event.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
24CB. C1B, approval of 2018 appropriation of funds in flood control water extract 2018 in the amount of $500,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And 24C2 is under the Bail Bond Board, which is Fund 1100. Approval of 2018 appropriation of funds for the Bail Bond Board in the amount of $253 to fund salary and fringe expenses.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And Commissioners, just under the budget and management topic here, we are filing a proposed budget tomorrow, Wednesday morning, with the county auditor's office and the county clerk's office. There was the proper advertisement in the paper of general circulation advising the constituency of that filing of that budget, also advising them that they would be at those two offices for the review if they so chose, and that there will be an adoption of that budget next week on the 25th, Commissioners Court. We're finalizing the last minute details, and I'm just trying to finalize under the Health Department an action item there for them that to be included in the proposed budget. Ms. Marty, I'm sorry, my apologies.
No problem.
Item
No.
25.
Yes, 25A1. This is for Hidalgo County in anticipation and being proactive to have solutions for the precincts. We're requesting, as it states on the agenda, for the 4 precincts to apply for fuel cards in the event they cannot reach their fuel tanks, with the authority for you all to give me the names and the vehicles as you direct us. They will be held in purchasing. They'll only be distributed at the time that an emergency arises and we can confirm that you cannot reach your fuel tanks. I recommend this action.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B is Executive Office. This is discussion and action on the First Amendment to the current agreement, number 183A, between Hidalgo County and J.R. Joe Ramon and Sons for the demolition of the old county jail located on 207 East Loeb Street, Denver, Texas, to modify paragraphs 6 of the contract with language as identified on the amendment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item C1, Precinct 1, clarification on action taken July 31st under agenda item 65857. That was the last rate event. Item B, for the lease of heavy equipment from Doggett through the PO as stated. This was to reflect that it would be through the proclamation ending the local disaster, which was August 14th.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item D1 for Precinct 2, acceptance of approval to execute the final form of professional engineering's agreement for the provision of on-call geotechnical construction materials testing services with LNG, and that would be approved for negotiations on August 14th.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Aye.
Item E for Precinct 3, this is pursuant to the current adopted Hidalgo County purchasing policies and procedures. Applicable chapters are 7, 8, and 9, requesting action by Commissioners Court on the following, including but not limited to: A, authorization of an exception from a requirement under Chapter 7 in connection with the necessity to rent vacuum trucks for the extraction of water from flooded areas.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
B, approval of an order into the minutes of the meeting to accept the attached certification of and by Precinct 3 Commissioner Joe Flores in connection with the rental of vacuum trucks from vendors Longhorn Paving and Butch's Oil Field Services as a result of the flooding.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
3, approval of an exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262-024A 1 and 2 due to the flooding rains commencing on or about September, I believe the disaster declaration is September 7th.
Move for
Not
approval
10.
with correction.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And item D, approval to continue the rental of vacuum trucks from vendors Longhorn and Butch's today and continuing as required to relieve the residents of the county and county property in flooded areas as the local declaration of emergency is until it's terminated, whichever comes first, through the requisition and purchase order protocol, as no agreements are required.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And going on to item F1, Precinct 4, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code Section 262-024A4, a professional service, so as to document the selected ranked number 1 firm of B to Z under a regular agenda approved on August 28th.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
B is acceptance and approval of professional services agreement number 227 with B2C Engineering, on-call engineering services, road and bridge, CIP, and other projects in general located in Precinct 4.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item G1 is approval to execute an interlocal agreement between the County of Hidalgo and Health and Human Services, and the City of FAR for the rental of the venue to support the activity of the 2018 Hidalgo County Health and Wellness Experience.
Move for approval.
Second.
For the record, this place is twice as big as Palmer and it has air conditioning, so it's a good service.
It was explained to the person
Thank you.
requesting an explanation.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item H, WIC, presentation of bids received for the purposes of award and responsible vendor, Premier Scientific submitting the lowest and best bid, and approval of contract document. This is for medical supplies for the WIC program.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item I1, Budget and Management, requesting approval to rescind action taken by Commissioners Court on May 15, 2018, with the agenda item as stated, the renewal of the Wellness Program Service Agreement, effective September of 2018, as vendor Van Ackerman Consulting is no longer in business.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The next one, J1, this is for the District Attorney's Office, requesting approval to purchase through the county's cooperative membership and participation with Goodbye, contract number as stated, for the following There are three items. That is a 2019 Ford Transit full-size van, a 2018 Jeep Compass, a 4x2, and a 2018 Toyota Tacoma extended cab.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item K1, this is for the Sheriff's Office requesting approval to, on that one, there's no action until next week. We are going to buy what they need under the General Services Administration contract. Under L1, County Clerk, requesting the continuation of the preservation of deed and official record volumes 1106 to 1323 with co-file technology, the Hidalgo County's membership and participation with TexMax contract as stated in the amount of $549,360 for through the requisition 375838.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Open forum. We have two people. Fern McClarity. And then number 2, Sarai Montelongo. Is that correct? Sarai Montelongo? Sarai.
Como dijeron a Mario.
Buenos días, comisionados.
Buenos días.
Mi nombre es Saraí Montelongo y vivo en la colonia Indian Hills en Mercedes, Texas. Y estoy aquí para dar las gracias al comisionado David Fuentes y a su equipo de trabajo del Precinto 1 por todo su apoyo en las pasadas inundaciones que tuvimos en nuestra colonia en el mes de junio. Muchas gracias.
I will translate for her. My name is Saraí Montelongo, and I live in the Colonia Indian Hills East in Mercedes. And I'm here to thank Commissioner David Fuentes and his staff from Prison 1 from all the great work they did on the past flood that we had in June. We're very thankful, and we really appreciate that they act fast, and they went and helped us to evacuate the families there. We had a very flood colonia, and we really appreciate it. Thanks.
Good job, Commissioner, Mayor. Is that it? That's it. Public comments.
Move for adjournment.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you all.